What's good, everyone? This is RawTruth Media, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. I'm joined by Derek Bordeaux. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing very well, man. Always good to connect with you, brother.
Absolutely.
On and off the camera. Always good.
That's great. I want to talk to you about the Grambling trip. How was it first? How was it meeting Coach Hugh Jackson as well as the recruits there?
All right. First thing I need to say, we got there Friday evening. We left Sunday morning. I gained 6 pounds.
Oh, man. Yeah, that Cajun food, did you?
Man, they put 6 pounds on me that quick. I had to come home to a no bread and no meat diet for 22 days. Man, it was at the point. It was at the point I was like, "Hey, next person that brings me some food is gonna have a fight on their hands. Don't bring me nothing else to eat."
That's crazy. Did you try that boudin?
No.
Okay,
but I had everything else under the sun. I'll get to that as well. Okay, no, but seriously, back to the whole experience. Just getting there and arriving at our hotel, you can feel it immediately, that quick. Christopher Scott, the general manager, and the rest of the staff. Sorry, I can't remember everybody's names, but It was just on point. It was on point, and we got up to our room, and they had our itinerary laid out, and every minute of the day was accounted for, and they ran it structured like that. You know what I mean? It was class act all the way around. The first night we were there, we all had dinner. We went to the football field, then we went upstairs, what would be like kind of like maybe the lounge, VIP lounge type of thing. Mm-hmm. And we had a really, really good dinner, but you had a chance to talk with almost all of the coaches, and that was reassuring, right, from a parent's perspective. And I think I touched on this before, but I said, when you're a parent that's heavily involved, you get a lot of blowback. People are, you're too much of this and that. It was so reassuring for them to let us as a family know that we've been doing it right. And the reason we've been doing it right is that's how he was able to offer so quickly after talking to us. Like I said before, I get so many people telling me, we post too much, we share too much, don't do this, don't do that. What? But that's how they were able to get to know us without us having to take a visit. I didn't know that. We were just doing it. We were just marketing, we're marketing what we do. This is what we do. We share it. And that's one of the ways they got to know us before even having us come out. So, we always share positive stuff. We just share our lifestyle, which is working out and training and eating and, having a good time as a family. So they were able to get to know us. I believe this wasn't said. I'm just going off my own observation from being there. There were some kids they brought out, some young men that they brought out, their kids to me, that they brought out, and they didn't have offers yet. They were just kind of feeling their way through. And I spoke to some people when I came back, some family members, and I was telling them, and we were like, you know what? I was like, they may have been analyzing and checking them out in person before the offer was made. Because, we did everything. Let's see how they are when we go out to eat. Let's see how they are, on the bus. Let's see how they are in a hotel room by themselves. I don't, like I said, this wasn't said, but I do see that being a possibility. And it's like everybody handled themselves very well. The group of recruits that they had were top notch. The parents were all way cool, which is always good to run into other parents going through the same stuff you're going through. And a lot of them, I think almost all of them, earned offers that weekend. So it is. It's such a cool thing to be there with parents that come in not knowing what's going to happen and then get that text message or that call like, hey, all right, the offer's here. And you're there with the parents. You know what I mean? And you could see the weight like, oh my gosh, okay. Because, the class of 22, they've been dealt a pretty raw hand. So that was good. It was really good to see that. Like I said, we were out eating. We got to speak with a lot of the coaches. They all played like merry-go-round. Like they would rotate to table. They had their assistants there. Some of the girls, the females that play softball, they would come in and help out. It was a great night. And then, they were like, hey, we're going to hang out. I keep calling them kids. The young men all went out together. And us parents and coaches, got to hang out a little bit. Me personally, I turned in early. I'm not even going to lie. I couldn't sit out and play dominoes and stuff, man. I'm older. I was like, I got to go. This is going to be a long day tomorrow. And that was the first night there. Really good. I spoke with you, Jackson. Like I said, it was so reassuring for him to say that he's been watching and how well everything has been on our end. Like I said, right. You doubt yourself. You wonder if it's working. You hear so many critics, people telling you, don't do this, don't do that. He and I, and as well as a lot of the other coaches, I think his whole coaching staff shared the same philosophy. I can get into that a little bit if you like. I don't know. I don't want to go.
You have the floor at RawTruth Media. Fathers, mothers, parents, they have the floor here. So we're all listening.
One of the huge things that we spoke about was, again, and this is not a knock towards anybody. It's just, the philosophy that's shared amongst the people that have had the most success in what it is we're trying to get our kids to do. All right. Is playing different things year round instead of just focusing on one sport all year long. It's like, it's so sad because now, your parents they think if your kids take a week or two off of a certain sport, they're going to completely fall behind the rest of the world. And we're like, let them, and I don't like to use this term, but let them be kids as far as playing different things, meeting a group of other kids, learning to receive instruction from a different set of adults, going to a pizza party at a different place with different kids. That's what builds your character and, makes you fall in love with the whole process. Because that's the fun.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with going to work hard all week for practice. And then we have game Saturday because I know there's a pizza party afterwards. That's what makes you want to keep grinding every year. And again, this is just my opinion, but we all shared that same philosophy because they were talking to me about, they all look at, speak of Tyson, they all look at his height. They're like, did he ever play basketball? I was like, basketball was his first sport. And, basketball, and he played baseball. Then he went into football and he was playing all three. Then he went I put the kids in jiu-jitsu. Then he was in wrestling. Then, they're back into baseball again, just all different stuff all the time. And that's what what led into that conversation of, man, it's such a good thing to hear kids playing multiple things when you have so many parents that are just stuck in, you have to play this and you have to perfect this, not knowing, if that's going to be the kid's love in the next 6 months or the next 6 years, who knows? But kind of just taking the whole youth sports experience away.
I like what you said there, because I'm not trying to judge all PWIs, but I'm talking about the imperfect structure that they have when they recruit these kids, and these kids are multiple sport stars or multiple sport players. They brainwash them and tell them, hey, if you play college football, you can only play one sport because you will never be good enough playing both sports. That is a lie, and that is a farce. Matter of fact, Jackson State has a player, Malachi Wyman, who plays both sports. He's doing well.
Bad boy.
Do you know what's crazy? Tennessee tried to pull that type of crap with him, and it took Malachi Wyman to go to a HBCU, a place where he's wanted, a place where our people embrace him, and he's doing well on both sports. And now it's becoming a recruiting tool to young players. Hey, you can play any sport you want if you have the talent here at a HBCU school. And it's really changing the game in recruiting. I like what I'm seeing in that aspect.
And, I'm a full-time trainer. That's my job, right?
Right.
And I'll get so many parents that will ask me to train their kids, right? I'm like, well, how old are they? They're like, oh, he's 9. I got to get him ready for this season. He needs to get faster. I'm like, who cares? Who cares how good your kid is at 9 years old? You know what I mean? Like, and again, my own personal philosophy, until like, mid, 13 years old, I'm like, the best off-season training they can get is to play another sport. You know what I mean? You want to bring them to a trainer at that age, just put them in different sports, let them, like I said, meet other kids and learn to receive instruction from other people and just enjoy it. Have fun with it. Don't worry. I'll be here when the time comes, and you never know what your kid's body's going to morph into. They might start off at 12 years old. They might be 5'2". And by the time they're 16, they might be 5'7". They may not have grown as much as you thought they were going to. Or they may outgrow the sport or the position that you were forcing them into early. So my thing is just play, do all this different stuff to enhance your athleticism. You really find that more so actually in a lot of the major sports right now. Like you said, the kids are just stuck playing that one thing all year long. And the reason is, and I'm going to put some people on blast, I don't care. A lot of these organizations, they have made that their bread and butter. That's their source of income. So now they've convinced your kid that if you want to play with that team and when season comes, you have to pay for them to train you all year long. You have to participate in their off-season training. Or speaking, let's say football, you have to be part of their 7-on-7 team or their 5-on-5 lineman challenge. You have to do all this. And meanwhile, you're paying out of pocket. You have to do all that if you want to play once season comes. So now the parents are afraid to leave that organization. But what it's just sad what things have become. And I don't want to get off the topic of what went on at the visit, but this is all the stuff we spoke about at the visit throughout the few days. We spoke about all this stuff. And I told them, I took my kids out of youth sports, to be honest. They played a year here, then a year there. Once say within the last 5 or 6 years, when I felt things were going left, that they didn't play anymore. Because to me, it wasn't about the kids. It's about putting money in the person's pocket. Shout out to Willie McGinnis and Long Beach Patriots. To me, they did things the right way. And unfortunately, they had a kind of a rough year because they do things the right way. And there's a few other great organizations that I can name off, but I'm just saying, you have so many organizations that are really just trying to live off of training or working with your kids, that they make them stick with them all year long. And now parents are kind of demanding that. You had organizations who weren't doing that, but now the parents threaten to leave if they're not putting together these off-season programs. Specifically, like we have a great lineman training out here called Primetime Polynesian. They're still doing things the right way. But I spoke with the owner and he's like, man, I have parents like demanding that we do this off-season stuff or they're going to go somewhere else. So now we have to do it. I get it. It's crazy the way youth sports is going. But again, this is some of the stuff we spoke about on the visit. But next question about the visit, I'll get off this topic.
Oh, yeah. You dropping some heat, my brother, man. And you're spot on. Before we go on to the next question, my brother, who was in the 2013 class, he was frustrated because my father didn't believe in paying for all these camps. And he told him that if you work hard and your field play stands where it is, you're going to get an offer. And then at the end of January of 2013, he had an offer from Louisiana Tech, and it was the best feeling in the world. That emotion, I'm sure you saw it at the campus visit. It's the best, most wholesome feeling you can ever get. I was there, my father was there, my mother was there. My mother was in tears, and it was something because my parents did it the right way. They charge them for these camps. You got to go to the DB camp, and you got to go to Nike, Under Armour. My father's like, heck no, I'm not paying all this money to whoever wants you will want you for the right reasons.
Can I co-sign that a little bit?
Oh, yes.
Just won't interrupt your next topic, right? Okay. These camps, right? Some of them are good.
Mm-hmm.
These exposure camps, you're going to get exposure. We're going to show you we fell into that same trap because Tyson didn't have a junior year pretty much, right? So we're going to a lot of camps to try to get his name out there. But all right, most college camps, right? Those are the ones that benefited us the most. The ones that actual college was putting on. $20, $30, $40 at the most. And the session may be 60 to 90 minutes. They check your measurables, do a couple speed and agility drills, let you do a couple things with your position, and call it a day. Some of these exposure camps from just, off-brand pop-up companies, some of them are really good, but a few of them are just the majority of them. They're fluff. They'll take your measurables. They'll put you through things like a combine. They'll run 7-on-7. They'll do lineman challenge, all that type of stuff. It's eye candy. And I swear to you, we went to all of them, and I don't know anyone that got anything from a lot of them. Specifically, I don't want to say their name because I don't want to put them on blast, but we went to this one camp that was 2 days, and they have a game once a year that everyone wants to be a part of. So we go to their camp. Okay, this is their showcase, their camp. We go there. Tyson wins receiver of the camp for the whole weekend, but then didn't get invited to their game. So we're like, how do you win receiver of the only camp they had and not get accepted? Well, it's really just for the best players in the country. So they get voted in the game, even if they didn't come to the camp. We paid to go to the camp. We spent the whole weekend there and beat everybody that you had there, and we're not good enough. So what was it? I'm like, okay, so what was the camp for? You know what I mean? There was no instruction. We did measurables. You went through things equivalent to the NFL combine, and then the next day was all competition. So we didn't learn anything there. We didn't really get better. We went there to show that we belong on the stage. You're going to put all these athletes on, and we won the whole camp. You gave us the plaque, took pictures, everything, but we're not invited to the game. So a lot of our kids here out, and I'll say it might be across America too, but I can specifically speak for us. Kids, man, a lot of kids in the hood, they don't have money for these camps. They don't have transport. They don't have the resources, whatever the resources may be, to get to all these camps that give people the limelight. So I can say for a fact, because I've seen it with my own eyes, I say for a fact that a lot of them get swept under the rug and they're not talked about because they're not at these camps getting articles written up about them. I know personally some class of 22 dogs that are phenomenal Division I players right now that no one knows about because they haven't been to any camps. They just depend on their football season to showcase, because that's the norm up until the last few years. So I agree with your dad on all those camps and stuff. I'm like, what are you going for? What is the point? Who's really seeing? That's like, walking into the gym and seeing somebody hit the heavy bag and say, okay, that's the best fighter. Let's take him. You know what I mean? I'm like, there's no action behind it. I don't know what people are basing these things on, but I agree with your dad 100%. And congratulations to your family for that moment.
Yeah, I know it was 2013, but it's the time is going by quickly. It's something you don't forget. And I wanted to ask you, the Grambling State facilities, how were they? What was your thought about what they had there?
I loved it, but I'm a simple type of person. Everybody says there's a lack of resources, there's this and that. To me, your resources are in here and up here. Those are my resources, and they go with me no matter where I'm at. And that's how I speak that's how I raise my kids. So the field was phenomenal. Like I said, everything was organized where we stayed, going to the bookstore, going to the classrooms, everything, going out to eat, everything was on point as far as I'm concerned. I love that being down on that field did something. Being down to that field, we were down there and it was freezing cold, but it felt like we were there ready for a night game. We were there under the lights and you could feel it. We were all excited. We were all pumped up. And then we went upstairs, like I said, to what they, I guess, consider like the VIP lounge area. That was beautiful. Locker room was good. The gym was nice. To me, everything is perfect to create that winning tradition again, and the mindset that goes with it.
You know what's amazing about the Eddie Robinson Field? Grambling State has so much like aura at that stadium. They win a lot of games there. It's tough to win there. It's not easy at all. And with this renovated talent and the coaching, Hugh Jackson, he's a phenomenal play caller who knows how to coach quarterbacks, who has a ton of quarterbacks in the stable. I was talking to a lot of close friends that talk about the HBCU landscape. And I was telling them, I know Jackson State, they're recruiting really well, and FAMU is as well. But I can't 100% say who will win the SWAC. Coaching in the interior is going to determine things.
Man, coaching is going to be everything. Coaching is going to be everything. If you can outsmart this offensive genius named Hugh Jackson, then there's a shot. But he's not just building a roster. A lot of coaches can just go out and build a roster with a lot of great players and talent. But do your concepts fit those players to where they can build chemistry like that? That's an offensive genius right there, where I'm going to keep the game simple enough for you guys to understand and execute together as a team, but too complex for the people on the other side to understand what's going on. That's where he's at. He's in a different mind state. And like you said, a lot of people are saying, it's small, the conference. Okay, I hate to get personal, but this is what is going on with us. People still, and bless their hearts, they all doing it because they care. I'm not getting any hate when this comes in, right? There are a lot of people are saying Tyson is a much bigger talent than Grambling. He should have been at a much bigger school. This, and that. I get it, and I appreciate that. I take that as a compliment. But a lot of these people, and I was one of them, we not following what's going on. You have to get on and follow the movement and see what's going on, how things are changing, right? Because, okay, I don't know. So what makes a big program and what makes a small program? Who knows, right? Why is that program over there considered bigger? Because, I don't know, is it because their field has a bigger capacity? I'm like, all these young men, their goal, 99% of the college boys playing, their goal is to get to the NFL, right? Okay, well, my coach just came from there. So, but the program is smaller than yours. Your coach has never been up there. Mine has. My coach, or even say this, my school has 4 Hall of Famers to its credit. 4 NFL Hall of Famers to its credit. That's more than yours, but your program's bigger. My coach put his recruits who haven't even played for him yet on Pivot Podcast. But your program's bigger? So, what makes why is your program bigger than ours? Just, the school's bigger, it has more students. What makes your program bigger? No one I haven't got an answer to that yet. But because you see yours on TV more? Well, everybody gets their local games. There's a few that get national, but okay, so what? Does that mean the program's bigger? So, yeah, we can go on back and forth with that all day long. People, my program's bigger, this and that, but who's to say what makes a program bigger than the other? I don't know.
Yeah, that's
my
powerful,
opinion.
man. That's powerful. That needed to be said. And shout out to everyone that's supporting the channel. K. Howard, thank you for the $5 super chat to help grow the nation out. Peace and blessings to everyone. Cute Horn One says thanks for uplifting HBCUs. Like I said, it's the people's channel, man. We're all in this together. Everyone. I made each video, and I'm starting to do this more, talking about more commitments of different HBCUs. I appreciate the love so much because it's bigger than one HBCU. It's collective.
Yes. And hopefully This can even influence some of our Western states to build some.
Oh, that would be great.
Imagine, who knows? You know what I mean? We got to start somewhere, right? So if all the talent, or I shouldn't say that, I'll say, let's say a lot of the talent here, they may have a problem going across the country, and it could be for any reason. You know, my mom needs me close to home. I'm helping her with my siblings. Who knows what it could be, right? Somebody may say, you know what? Let's start one out here. And my son loved the experience the whole weekend. Going to the basketball game against Southern.
It was turned, wasn't it? It was turned, wasn't it? I know it was.
My mom called me today. How's everything going? Where's Tyson? I said, I have no idea. He was here a minute ago. I don't know where he's at now. Then he popped up. I'm like, where were you? Oh, I was over there. Didn't see him again till later. They're just going off having the time of their lives. And we got back to the airport. We got touched back home. You know, first thing is, he's like, that was so, I'm ready to go back. I'm ready to get started. And the very next morning, we got back in the evening. Very next morning, he's up early, you know, ready to go hit the gym. Like, I got work. Let's go. He's been a completely different young man since he's still 17. So I'm still a kid, completely different since we've gotten back. And I thank the staff for talking to him and letting him know what they expect out of him. But more importantly, letting him know what they see in him already. That's big. Letting them know this is what we see right now. Now, keep building on what you already are, and this is where it can end up. They did a great job of explaining that and letting him understand this is where you are, this is where you can go, and this is how you can get there. Very important. Very important.
You're spot on. And I want y'all to realize, I live in Washington State right now. I used to live in Houston, Texas. But there's so much West Coast talent. If there was a West Coast HBCU in the scenery, and oh my God, I always wonder, why is there not a West Coast HBCU? We got brothers and sisters here. I mean, a lot of them. A lot of them.
Well, and then also that would be a great experience for some of the young people down south to come to the West Coast and see different things they haven't seen.
Right.
You know what I mean? And of course, our community is so divided, but that might be one way to start bringing everybody together. I don't know. What do I know?
We got to work on that as a people. We can't have this crab in a barrel mentality. If one HBCU is doing well, we need to stop belittling someone's progress. You go on social media, Grambling think they all that. And then you look at JSU, JSU and Coach Prime think they all that. FAMU think they all that. Be happy for your school, but be happy on the progression and the vision of leveling the playing field. It's about these kids. It's not about us. It's more than us.
And give each other props. You know, I'm very, very hard on my kids about that. And that's why I think he did it on your podcast too, where Tyson said the reason he chose HBCU is because, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name. The number one player in the country that chose Jackson State.
Travis Hunter.
Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
He said, when I seen him do it, that was like, hey, I can do it too. That's right. I said, let people know that you were influenced by, it's okay. That doesn't take away into your manhood. You know what I mean? Somebody else influenced me to do something big. And I'm like, make sure you give respect and props to the people that actually got your brain moving in that direction. There's nothing wrong with congratulating and thanking and giving props to your brother.
That's all it's about. And like Tyson, man, Tyson is a confident kid. Doesn't matter if it's a 4-star, 5-star. He gonna do his thing. And I love his mindset. But you can big up yourself while appreciating the changes in the positive direction this HBCU movement is having. Shout out to Ken Clark. Ken Clark is one of the most positive brothers in the HBCU landscape. He's from Jackson State area. A great brother. He says, great interview, loving the movement. That's what it's all about, the movement. Chef says, West Coast HBCUs in need, man.
Hey, don't put no ideas in my head. I'll get it going. Before we go, can we answer one of the questions that I seen on there?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't remember who it was, but they said, what effect is this having on AAU? And I'd love to touch base on that really quick, if you don't mind.
Yeah. Let me find it. Deacon Davis.
Davis. All right. I can't. Basketball was my number one thing. Honestly, it's really hard for me to watch right now. Basketball seems like an all-day AAU tournament with grown-ups to me right now. Right. This is one reason we stopped playing travel basketball and travel baseball, and we didn't get into the travel in football, all that stuff. Right. All right. Cool. We pay to play. Not a problem. Here you go. We pay for the uniform. All right. Cool deal. Now, when we get there, we got to pay to park. And we got to pay to get in. And we're not allowed to bring food in. Then we have 4 or 5 games in a day. What that right there tells you everything you need to know. That, you know what I'm saying? And then that's Saturday. We got to do the same thing again on Sunday. So I'm like, what is it? But you want to tell me this is all about the kids and their development? Be for real. My personal advice is pick a certain amount of months that your child plays in the sport, whatever sport it is, and pick a certain amount of months where they can train or do a different sport depending on their age, where they can, if they're a high school or so, put them in, track or swimming, whatever else, depending on their activity. Kids that are youth, like I said, I'd put them in basketball during basketball season, and when something else comes up, they go to something else. All this one sport all year long, you're killing your kids' athletic development, in my opinion. So I hope that answered the question a little bit.
Absolutely. This is Derek Bordeaux, father of Tyson Bordeaux, Grambling commit, a father, a visionary, a man of strength, a man of pride. This is what RawTruth is all about. It's about our people. You got to love yourself. It's okay to say you're the shit. Excuse my language. It's okay to say I have the best family around. It's okay to say I look good. I feel good. It's all good, like Coach Prime would say. Any last words before you go, Mr. Bordeaux? And after Mr. Bordeaux leaves, I'm going to show everyone the next upcoming interview that I will have on Wednesday.
Okay. I know after the last interview we did, I got so many messages and questions, which I appreciate. Feel free, always, send me questions. We'll answer as much as we can. When a lot of you are asking the same question, we try to come on, a bigger platform like this and discuss everything all at once. But thank you guys for the support. And it's been going on and on ever since the last interview, ever since Tyson, said that he was going to commit to either, Morgan State, shout out to them, but we ended up going to Grambling State. So just continue to keep uplifting each other. Like he said, this is about all HBCUs. Like I'm repping Grambling. That's where my son is going, but I'll do anything in my power to help all of them. And so will my son after running the score up on some of y'all.
Hey, you had to let it be known.
Now you see where he gets it from, huh?
Yeah. Hey, I love the confidence. Family, let's make sure to get it up to 60 likes. Share the video if you could. And this is Derek Bordeaux, Tyson Bordeaux's father. You're always welcome. And if you feel like coming on the stream after a game, I'm here. So or a day after, because you know how it is. Peace. That was Derek Bordeaux. Man, fathers are so important in kids' lives. Man, this is why we do what we do at RawTruth. This is the why. Before I read all the comments, and keep the comments coming because I'm going to read them. Wednesday, I have something to announce, an interview with a legendary FAMU player who's played for the Raiders, part of the All-Madden team in the 80s. Let me show y'all real quick. So we're going to have the legendary Henry Lawrence Henry Lawrence will be on the stream on Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern. Tune in to that. It's going to be a great show. If you're a FAMU Rattler or if you support HBCUs, tune in. The wisdom that this brother will say is going to be paramount. So Wednesday, 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern, Henry Lawrence, FAMU legend. It's really going to be a fantastic stream, I feel, and can't wait. So I'm going to read some of these comments. Chantel Wallace. Chantel Wallace says, hit the like button, hit the like button, hit the like button. Deacon Farmer says, I'm going to link you with some NCAA and T people. Thank you. Thank you for that. Shout out to North Carolina A&T. Now, I know some people are disappointed that they moved from the MEAC to the conference they're in now, but they're still at HBCU, and we show love to all HBCUs. Deacon Davis says, Aggie Pride, North Carolina A&T for sure. Mr. Rain says, great interview. Thank you, my brother. Peace and love, peace and blessings. Ashley Kenneth says, love it. I appreciate you so much, my sister. Waldo 205 says, next season's finna be exciting. I can't wait. Man, I can't wait either. Like, I can easily say some team can win all their games or not, but it's really hard to predict. Shout out to Chef B. He says, Grand fam, welcome our brother with open arms. Why not Grambling? Exactly. Support all HBCUs. Now, when I made a video about Grambling State flipping a commitment, I made a point that when Grambling is good, when Grambling is great, the SWAC is great. Grambling must be great to push the movement. So it can't be just Jackson State. It cannot be just FAMU. You need the blue bloods of the SWAC to help level the playing field. Shout out to my sister Tanya. She says, I'm just glad to be here. I'm glad you're here, my sister. Peace and blessings. Peace and love to you. Kay Howard, she said, there's going to be some really good coaching in the SWAC. There is. And Mr. Bordeaux is right. Grambling has an edge in coaching. Now, some people may say, well, he was an offensive coordinator with Tennessee State, but he wasn't the head coach of Tennessee State. It's a difference. Now with Grambling State, he's getting players he believes fits with his offense. And you're seeing that with this team. Shout out to Wayne. He says, I'm proud Grambling graduate. I love my HBCUs. Yeah, rep your schools, man. Rep your schools. Rep your schools, man. Chef B. Moss says, Grambling must be great to push the movement. Facts. It has to be. Now, I don't care if Grambling's your rival. I don't care if you have a disdain for Grambling. Grambling must be great, as well as all the other blue blood SWAC teams and HBCUs, to really turn this thing into another, just like a great HBCU Renaissance. That's what I'm calling it. It's the HBCU Renaissance. Also, make sure to subscribe to all HBCU content creators. Make sure to subscribe to 1400 Tiger Talk. Ken Clark be on there. Great brother. He said HBCUs are elevating like we all want to see. This is amazing. Truly amazing. Shelton says there's a lot of West Coast kids, period, would like to go to HBCU. We need to recruit out there more. VP Kamala Harris is from California. Yeah, we got to I think that's a great idea. I think HBCUs need to put a fence around California and become like the Mecca. There's a lot of West Coast talent. And can you imagine if these SWAC schools, and not just SWAC, but MEAC and others, SEAC, if they tap into the West Coast, especially California, and can get some 2-star, 3 stars, 4 stars, no matter if they don't have a star or not. Talented players. It'll be something to see. Waldo 205 says, Coach Hugh got like 3 or 4 decades of experience at every level. The SWAC finna be wide open for sure. Wide open, you mean? Yeah, I see that right there. Wide open. It is. All you really need in the SWAC is a quarterback who's balanced. I've said this in a previous video. If you have a quarterback who's balanced, who can run but doesn't always settle on the run, you can make headway in this conference. English Howell says, can't wait to see Tyson at the Bayou Classic. Yeah, he has what it takes. I have a good feeling about Tyson. I think Tyson will be one of those players when you see his career, when he's done with his career in Grambling, you'd be like, wow. This player is the real deal. Shelby Monster, shout out to Kay Howard for inviting so many of us to the stream. Let's support our brother. Thank you so much. Thank you for the support. Everything that you all support to this channel goes right back to it, so I can continue to do interviews, continue to get the technology up. The mission is so important. No more of us just settling for trinkets and crumbs. Now the HBCU landscape is at the top of the total pole. I think so. And this is nothing against the FBS schools or anything, but it feels damn good to know that we have power within this conference, within this league. That's something no one could take from you. Deacon Davis Farm says, when the HBCUs ascend, this channel will be instrumental in making it happen. Thank you, my brother. It means a lot to me. RawTruth Media, it's like a family. Like everyone who just subscribed, who has a vested interest in RawTruth Media, they're all important. Shout out to Coach Simmons as well. He says Akeem Olajuwon learned basketball footwork from soccer. That is true. Make sure to subscribe to Coach Simmons. Great commentary, great person. HL Kid, I see you, my brother. West Coast. He said, I used to cut hair at Mr. Baker's shop next to Paulie. I cut a lot of them kids from the Cream Kelly area. Yeah, shout out to HL Kid, day one subscriber. Coach Simmons says, imagine when PWIs have to try and flip kids from HBCUs. Yeah, that's coming next. Watch. You hit the nail on the head, Coach Simmons. Just watch. HBCU recruiting already has, by the way, has gone such a high level. You will see PWI celebrating when they flip a HBCU player into, to their conference. Just watch. I believe that's going to happen. Wayne says, we've got great quarterbacks at Grambling. Redshirt freshman Noah Bolden out of New York and a transfer out of UCLA. They got quarterbacks at Grambling. And Hugh is going to he's going to do his thing. And don't count out Noah Bolden. Noah Bolden, he was dealt a bad hand last season, really didn't have offensive-minded coaches to proceed his progression. But when I looked at Noah Bolden's high school film last season, I saw some tools that he can possess to be a great quarterback. I really feel that way. I don't think it's going to be an easy quarterback competition for Grambling. But don't sleep on Noah Bolden. I think he's going to be a lot better. And Coach Hugh Jackson is the quarterback whisperer. Everybody talks about Hugh Jackson and what he didn't do at Cleveland. But look at Baker Mayfield, who right now is an average quarterback. Baker Mayfield had his best year when Hugh Jackson was the head coach, statistically. Tell me if I'm lying. Baker Mayfield had his best year, his rookie year, when Hugh Jackson was the head coach. And then after that, Baker Mayfield became a game manager because they didn't have any head coaches who can coach quarterbacks like Hugh Jackson. That's not a lie. That is the truth. Tanya says Noah, quarterback at Grambling State, is amazing. Yeah, he's got talent. Yeah, 2 great quarterbacks. Kay Howard says Noah is the real deal as well. He is. Man, if you're a college team and you got 2 talented quarterbacks, that's like hitting a lottery in the NCAA. Tanya says Noah is a student of Grambling State's quarterback record holder, Bruce Eugene. Shout out to Bruce Eugene. So he is going to be amazing, if not better than his coach, Bruce. Be on the lookout. But it's not going to be an easy competition, but that's what you want. You want competition at every single level, every single skill position, every single interior alignment. You want competition everywhere. You don't want anything to be easy. Man, this has been a great stream. So give me your feedback. How do you like these interviews? And what would you like to see from RawTruth Media to do more to expand this channel? I would like to hear. Yeah, I love it so much. Doing these interviews, man, it's just, I get excitement when I get to talk about HBCUs. Because it's just like talking with the fellas at the barbershop, man. We talk about this stuff all the time about Black empowerment and please do not listen to the media, especially what I call old media. What you're noticing is they get very upset when you start talking about putting power within something. Like we're talking about HBCUs being a dominant entity in the college landscape. They hate that. So they build a disdain and act like it's such a bad thing to bring up. And I'm starting to notice that. But they're not fooling me. They're not fooling me at all. We got to keep pushing. We got to keep doing our thing and ignore the shines. Stay focused. The focus is leveling, not only leveling the playing field, but enhancing the playing field. Make the playing field so strong that anyone who looks like us, Black man and woman, we can say, hey, I don't have to go to Alabama. I don't have to go to Florida. I could go to a Grambling, to a Jackson State, to a FAMU, to Alabama A&M, Southern, Prairie View A&M, and many more. Deacon Davis says, I like to see you visit these HBCUs. Hey, I'd love to do that too. I'm going to start doing that more. I got to plan these trips out. Would you like to see a on-campus visit? I need to be doing that. On-campus visits to give a tour to the family. Wayne says, don't sleep on Noah. His first start last season was great against Alabama A&M, who was undefeated. Noah showed great poise, control in that game. We came out with a win with him under center. He did. He did do a good job. This quarterback competition is going to be closer than what people expect. Whoever wins the Grambling starting quarterback job will be prepared to lead this team. Kay House says, please continue to spotlight HBCU student athletes and their parents. Oh, we will continue to do that because it's all about family. Cole Simmons says in Texas, there are already talks about changing NIL and transfer rules. You hear that right there? So all of a sudden, HBCUs and smaller colleges are benefiting from NILs in the transfer portal, and the NCAA is already trying to diminish it. And I knew this was going to happen because they're jealous that the playing field is getting level. They're jealous about that. So I'm not surprised. Waldo 205 says they hate bad. Some of the PWRs are trying to change some rules now as we speak. They do not like what's going on right now. Yeah, they don't like it. They don't like when our culture, our people have power to do for self. They don't want us to do for self. And these new transfer rules are giving us an avenue to do for self. They despise it, man. They despise it. My great-grandfather told me a long time ago, and this was profound when he told me. He said, grandson, when our people move up in life, there are no friends. And you know what? That he's right. It stuck with me. He said, there are no friends. Every time a black man or woman is changing the game in something, making life better for others, there's always someone coming along trying to change up stuff, trying to ruin something. The NCAA is doing that now with the transfer rules and NILs because they see HBCUs using it to be like everybody else, to set the stage fairly. And you know what? The NCAA doesn't want anything fair. They only want the powers that be to get all the spotlight, all the recognition, all the recruits, all the money. But this game is not fair to our people. Look at the institutions in each state. Each state are leaving out money for institutions. Look at the Mississippi HBCUs. They're not receiving enough money. But the state of Mississippi is happily to give money to Mississippi State and Ole Miss. The same with the Texas colleges, Texas HBCUs. This is what they're doing. They ain't got me fooled at all. Now, a lot of YouTubers are not going to talk about it. Coach Simmons going to talk about it. SWAC Buzz, CFL, in between the game sports, hoop jargon, 1400 Tiger Talk. We'll talk about it. But everybody else, they don't want to touch on that subject because they don't want to offend their base. But like I tell people all the time, this is a pro-truth channel. There will be no shucking and jiving here. We will talk about serious issues. Shout out to Juju Knows Hoops. Make sure you subscribe to his channel. Let's get him to 1,000 subs. He says, salute to my dog, P. I guess I'm P. Kay Howard says, on-campus visits would be great. I'm thinking about doing that. Chantel says, on campus. Yes, on campus. That's the plan. Coward says they always change the game and rules when it begins to benefit us. Bingo. But I'm telling you, the NCAA is hate. They're looking at all Twitter, Instagram. They see all these recruits posted in their SWAC, MEAC gear, and the NCAA is pissed off. They say you do something right when you piss off the powers that be. And I truly believe that. They cannot stand us having power. Coach Simmons says they want to put in a time frame where you cannot transfer and you have to sit out any level. Also, they want to only let schools pass out NIL money. What? That's some bull. So they want to diminish young brothers and sisters from making money. Besides the school is not going to, the school doesn't always have the best interest of the student athlete. But y'all favorite coaches, Nick Saban and everybody else, champion this. Dabo Swinney. And I see so many of our people just, gotta love Nick Saban, gotta love Dabo. but they're out here ruining opportunities for our people. Coach Simmons says, I will send you the link. Thank you, my brother. It's a game within the game. I said this months ago that this would happen. Kevin Drake says, if they change the NIL rules, I believe our players will still come. Yeah, they'll still come. If they change the NIL rules, all it's going to do is tick off some of these recruits. Because Coach Prime has, and not only Coach Prime, but everybody else in a HBCU landscape has been championing NILs and the transfer portal. They've been championing it. Coach Prime has talked about paying players before it was set in stone. So what they're going to do is motivate players to not select PWIs even more. Waldo 205 said, what's crazy to me, though, is the fact that Power Fives and Group of Fives bringing in billions and can't compete with mid-major schools, LOL. So they trying to change it? Yeah. The smaller schools are whooping the big schools' tails right now. Now, they're not going to try to admit that to y'all, but that's why they're changing the rules. K. Howard says, Coach Simmons, can you post the link in the chat? Let me see. This is crazy. Changing rules. Wayne says these PWIs only want our black student athletes to keep their schools ranked in the top 10. Yeah, they don't care about us. They don't care about our young kids. They're using our people as a stepping stool to get to another position in life. That's all. And if you're a young athlete and you're looking at these new rules, the best way to piss off the powers that be is to choose a HBCU in high numbers to say, okay, you want to change the NIL rules? Okay, I'm not going to commit to a PWI. I'm going to go to a HBCU since you want to change rules. The NIL rules as of old gave the power to the student athletes to give them the ultimatum. The schools don't make the players. The players make the school. And that is a fact. Let me say that again for the people in the back. The schools don't make the players. The players make the school. The players generate the money. And it's been that way for 100 plus years. And now they're trying to diminish that. Pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. But NCAA, y'all keep doing this bull. And watch, you're going to motivate these players to say, you know what? F y'all. I don't need y'all. Look at Celebration Bowl. The Celebration Bowl produced the highest attendance in the FCS, more than the FCS championship game. I know we're going to have some North Dakota State fans say, well, we won the championship. Kudos to you. But you still didn't generate more than the Celebration Bowl. Just keeping it real. And the Celebration Bowl generated more viewership as well as attendance than a lot of FBS bowl games. Those are facts. So to keep it honest, we don't really need the powers that be. We have shown throughout the years, if we keep the black dollar within our community, we could be as powerful, even more powerful than them. Hey, what do I know? I'm just a YouTuber. This is DJ's Raw and Cut Truth, giving you the raw content that you deservedly need. Peace and blessings to everyone. Also, Trent, Coach Joe and Aquarius will be live in today's Hornets game. Tune into that, as well as Coach Simmons says it's a video. Okay, Coach Simmons, if you can send that to me on Twitter, I may make a video on it. But don't forget Wednesday at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. Legendary FAMU player Henry Lewis, all Madden team player, will join the show. Tune into that. Tag a friend. Let everybody know it's about to go down. This is RawTruth Media giving you the raw content that you deservedly need